Hey, welcome. Today we are diving into a really powerful idea, and it all comes from just a single insight card. It's an idea that might completely flip how you think about forgiveness. So let's just jump right in.
So here it is. This is the source for our whole conversation today. It's one of these daily prompts for reflection, and it kicks off with a really game-changing question. It asks, what if forgiveness wasn't just about the past, but about fueling your future? I mean, think about that. What if it's not something you give away, but something you actually gain for yourself?
And before we can even talk about gaining all of this new energy for the future, we've got to get real about what's draining it right now. Which leads us to this really fundamental question. How much energy is a grudge actually costing you? Seriously, take a second. That old resentment, that frustration that's been sitting there, what's the daily price you're paying to keep it alive?
So to really understand the solution this card is offering, we first have to fully appreciate the problem. Let's talk about the hidden cost of holding on to old wounds, what the card calls the weight of a grudge. Now, the card is super specific here. This isn't about some minor irritation from last week or a quick disagreement. No, it's asking you to zero in on a deep-seated resentment. You know the kind I'm talking about, the one that settled into your heart and kind of became part of the furniture. And the card uses this incredibly powerful phrase to describe that feeling, the entanglement in your heart. What a perfect metaphor, right? A grudge isn't some clean, simple wound. It's this messy, tangled knot of emotions that just keeps you stuck, tangled up in the past. Okay, so if a grudge is this tangled knot that's draining all our energy, how in the world do we break free? Well, this is where the card's big insight comes in. It completely reframes forgiveness, turning it from an act of just pardoning someone into an act of real personal power. So, here's the absolute key, the big shift in perspective. The card says that you realize forgiveness can actually help you gain energy. It's not about letting someone else off the hook. Not at all. It's about you consciously deciding to take back all the emotional and mental energy that grudge has been sucking away from you. This really lays it all out, crystal clear. On one side, you've got the grudge. It's a constant energy drain, a tangled mess. But on the other side, you have forgiveness. And that's an act that actually generates new energy. It's what finally unties that inner knot. It's a choice that transforms you from being a prisoner of your past into the person who controls your own energy. Okay, now we get to what is, I think, my favorite part of this entire concept. The card doesn't just stop at this idea of gaining energy. It gives us this really tangible, almost playful way to understand the reward. It's all about making a deposit of freedom. And this is the beautiful slogan at the heart of the card's promise. The deeper the forgiveness, the greater the freedom. It's suggesting that freedom isn't just some on or off switch. It's a reward that actually grows with how much emotional work you're willing to put in. The deeper you go, the freer you get. And to make this kind of abstract idea of freedom feel totally real, the card does something brilliant. It basically turns it into a game. It asks you to take that feeling of liberation, that reclaimed energy, and physically, well, metaphorically, deposit it somewhere special. It's like putting a coin in your own personal treasure chest. So welcome to your rich and joyful account. I just love this phrasing. It's your own metaphorical bank account where the currency isn't money, it's the freedom and joy you earn through forgiveness. How cool is that? It turns an emotional win into a real symbolic asset that you can actually watch grow over time. The card even gives a suggested deposit amount, $9. Now, obviously, this isn't a random number. It's a symbolic marker. By depositing this value, you're giving your emotional work tangible worth. You're making the invisible visible. You are literally cashing in on your own freedom. All right, let's put it all together. The process is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. First, you identify that long-held grudge, and you make the choice to forgive. Second, you consciously work to untangle that knot inside you. Third, you actually stop and feel that rush of energy and freedom that comes from letting go. And finally, and this is the fun part, you celebrate that win by making that deposit into your very own rich and joyful account. And that brings us right here to the final question, the one the card leaves with you to think about. Looking at your own life, who holds the key to your next deposit? Who could you forgive, not for them, but 100% for yourself to become a little richer and a whole lot freer starting today?